Jack Schlossberg is speaking out about the newly released files pertaining to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, the only grandson of the late president, who was infamously shot and killed while riding in a presidential motorcade in Dallas on November 22, 1963, said his family was not told about the file release before it happened on Tuesday, March 18. However, he claimed one family member, his uncle and President Donald Trump's Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., was told. No, the teorium pa dedi note ediv, anyone in puriside inti Kennedy's family, a he dias up, about the rallies, a total surprise, and not shocker. Schlossberg wrote on X, but at Robert Kennedy Jr. definitely knew. In another X post, Schlossberg retweeted Utah Senator Mike Lee after Lee asked why it took so long to release the files. You really care about JFK's legacy. You're dismantling it. Go ask Bobby for a retweet, Schlossberg replied, name-checking his cousin RFK Jr. for a second time. Schlossberg also criticized the media for its coverage of the release. On his Instagram stories, he published a picture of CNN anchors discussing the release with the caption, "You're better than this." Schlossberg, 32, has previously spoken out about Trump's desire to release the JFK files, accusing Trump of using his family's trauma for political capital. The truth is a lot sadder than the myth. A tragedy that didn't need to happen, Schlossberg wrote in a January 23 post to X, which he shared on Instagram later that day, not part of an inevitable grand scheme. He added, declassification is using JFK as a political prop when he's not here to punch back. There's nothing heroic about it. The following day, Schlossberg called out podcaster Joe Rogan for hosting Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on an episode where they discussed conspiracies about JFK's assassination. Schlossberg urged Rogan to have RFK Jr. back on the show once the remaining JFK files were released, in order to ask him why he lied to everybody about how the CIA killed President Kennedy, and ask him if he went through all the documents. I thought you wanted to actually find out what happened, not just talk about it and make somebody famous so they can parlay that into a cabinet position, he said toward Rogan, referencing his cousin's path to serving as Trump's health secretary. Prior to RFK Jr.'s nomination to lead the Department of Health and Human Services, Schlossberg's mother, Caroline Kennedy, released a scathing open letter that detailed why she believed he was unqualified for the position. In addition to her claims about RFK Jr.'s history of drug abuse and cruelty to animals, Caroline also condemned her cousin for invoking the Kennedy family name throughout his unsuccessful 2024 presidential campaign, stating that he continues to grandstand off my father's assassination and that of his own father. It's incomprehensible to me that someone who is willing to exploit his own painful family tragedies for publicity would be put in charge of America's life and death situations, she said. Unlike Bobby, I try not to speak for my father, but I am certain that he and my Uncle Bobby, who gave their lives in public service to this country, and my Uncle Teddy, who devoted his long Senate career to the cause of improving health care, would be disgusted.